Best video. It's weird. It's weird having a video. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it even sees the light of day. But you get that in the big jobs.
We can only try.
So we have back with us the successful Nick the Runner, as he is known in the social media world. So I just wanted to say thanks very much for having us there, mate, and congrats on doing 100K. Get around sound effects.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me back, and thanks for coming out on Saturday. It was a bloody long day, but we got it done.
It was. So it's now Thursday, and it was Saturday that you did it.
Yep.
Might just go back to the actual race day first.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about how you're feeling now. I'm just wondering, so what time did you actually start? It was like 5:30 or something?
Yeah, 5:30 Anglesea Beach we started. Yep.
So do you actually start, like the run starts at 5:30?
Yep.
So what time do you have to get there to register and do all that sort of stuff?
So registration, we went down on the Friday afternoon. So that's, pick up your race pack with your bib and your timing chip and all that sort of stuff. And then on Saturday, we just essentially got there at 5:20, walked down to the beach and off we went. So it wasn't too much hassle on the morning of the race.
And is it done in like waves and stuff? Or
this year was, I believe it's the first year that they've done it a wave start. So there was 3 starting waves, there was a 5:30 start, which was the guys who were really pushing it. There was a 5:35, which is when we took off, which they were calling mid-pack runners. And then there was a 5:40 start, which was just people who were cruising along, where we probably should have been in the end.
Yeah, I find it weird though. Like if you're going to take longer to do it, you'd go later. I would have thought you'd start later if you're going to do it in 12 hours. Why are you starting at 5:30?
I guess it's probably for congestion because some of the track it's single track. The guys who really want to push it, they want a clean run and not have to jump around me on the track.
Does anybody actually run 100Ks?
Yeah, the bloke who won it. Is out of control. I think he finished it in like a touch over 8 hours or something.
8 hours?
Yeah, so I had a look at his Strava. I think his average pace was 5 minutes or something. 5 minutes per K.
5 minute Ks?
For the 100, yep.
For the whole thing?
Yep.
I can't even do
that
5 minute Ks for
a
AK.
That would be I could probably do a 25-minute 5K these days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to hold that for 100, and Strava, back to Strava already, has a thing called a gradient adjusted pace, which it adjusts your pace to account
hills
into
and stuff.
Hills.
Yeah.
So his gradient adjusted pace for the 100K was 4 minutes 30 or something.
Yeah, right.
So absolutely sending it.
To be doing that, he must have been doing some 3 minute Ks at time because there was some steep ground there.
Yeah, he must have been like down the hills. He must have been absolutely bombing it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
I can't fathom doing that run in 8 hours.
Yeah. So when you in the morning, so how'd you sleep the night before? Like you're nervous?
Shocking.
Yeah, right. Right.
Shocking. I went to bed early because I knew it was going to be an early start, but I think I woke up at like 12:30, and I reckon the last time I checked the clock was maybe 2.
Yeah.
And Fitzy said the same thing. Just shocking sleep.
Yeah.
I was nervous. Couldn't stop thinking about it. Shocking sleep.
So Fitzy didn't sleep well either?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. Did Fitzy tell you about earlier that week, like when you were running around?
No.
Oh, so I'll out him then. So like on Monday, right, because he was like, oh, do you want to go for a run? And obviously I was like, no. But but he was like, I was going to go for a jog with him. But then he said he ran about 200 metres and he was just limping and he couldn't work out what it was. He's like, he felt like he'd done his ankle or something. And then so he went and saw a physio that afternoon. They rubbed it, did nothing. Tuesday he went to acupuncture.
It was in no good.
Yeah. So he went and got like dry needling done, which he hadn't done before. Did a couple of other things, and they just weren't helping. And then on Wednesday, I think it was, he did something and it just like clicked. You know, like your ligament just seems to be out of place.
Yeah.
So that was him Monday, Tuesday. He's like, there's not I can't even run 200 meters. Not going to happen. And then Wednesday, he must have just done the lawn or something, and then turned and it just clicked and it was fine. And then he went and got it rubbed again on Thursday to make sure that it wasn't just going to come back in.
Yeah.
And then, and then he was good to go. But that's literally his week in the lead up. And I was like, you going to tell Nick? And he goes, no.
Because he did stink like DP last time we were here.
Yeah. He was on struggle street trying to work out what was wrong with him. Because he was like, oh, no, I can't. even if I have to pull out on the day, he's like, I'll do that. But
Imagine standing on the beach with him and he goes, actually, man, I'm not doing this.
yeah, yeah.
I would have cried.
But yeah, but at least you still would have gone there. I don't know what would have been better if it was at no point was he pulling out.
No.
Was the thing that I was getting from him.
Not before.
But, yeah. But even like during, I think he would have still like hobbled around and like around you. Yeah. Like he didn't sound like he was able to actually run, but no doubt he would have been in his car appearing like I was, but doing it more often. The right. So little sleep. What sort of like what sort of prep do you need to do with like food and drinking and all that sort of stuff?
So leading in, I just ate so many carbs, and like I ate spaghetti for lunch pretty much every day leading in for the week prior.
Did you put on weight?
Oh yeah, I didn't weigh myself, but I would have because
Yeah.
I felt awful. I felt so bad. So I ate a lot of carbs. I just ate all week and drank. I was probably drinking 4 or 5 litres of water a day, just to try and get as much liquid into my body and as much energy to have sitting there in reserve. But yeah, felt the weekend eating that much like pasta and bread, I felt so bad.
What would you do differently? Would you eat that much again? Do you reckon that was
Probably because it did. I felt during the run, I felt pretty good in terms of my nutrition. I think it probably helped. Yeah.
Yeah. The so you're sitting there on the beach at 5:30. Is it like a big horn, or is it those cowbells that I heard at the end, or like how's it go?
The cowbells are big in trail running. I've discovered they're everywhere.
Yeah, well, not enough cowbell.
No, there was like a PA system down there. We were playing Eye of the Tiger.
Oh, of course they are.
I was ready to go. Yeah. Ready to punch a hole in the sun.
I find that bizarre to be like motivational song at the start. Like you should be motivated.
Yeah, everyone's ready to go.
Yeah. And it's like that much energy. I don't need that much energy at the start. I'm going to sprint. I'm going to be like, I'm winning this race. And then I'm going to be cooked for the whole rest of it.
Take off down the beach and then you're done.
So you've got the Eye of the Tiger. Is it like do they fire a gun or something? Like how's it?
I can't remember. I'm sure there's probably a horn or something.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't remember seeing it.
I'd be disappointed if it was just somebody going, go.
Yeah, off you go.
Yeah. Righto, toodle on. Yeah. It's like so you've got the beach. They say go. Once you've started jogging, are you feeling good now? Or
I'm certainly happy to be started, but I think it's a big thing in those races is you sort of get caught up in a pack.
Yeah.
Your heart rate shoots. And like I did in my last run, I was sort of like got halfway down the beach. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm running way too quick. Pull it back.
Yeah.
But it starts on Anglesea main beach, sort of facing away from Torquay back towards Road Night.
Yep.
So there's only probably maybe a 200-300 metre section of running before you start climbing up the Anglesea boat ramp. So, and then it sort of really bunches up and it's pretty slow going the first few Ks of the run because you run back to Point Road Night and then back after 4 Ks, you're back at the start line heading towards Torquay.
Yeah, right. So are the people like running fast at the start because they want to clear the traffic to get to the trails first?
I didn't see any of those people, but I would like the bloke, the people who are really pushing it. Yeah, I would imagine they'd try and clear off as quickly as possible so they've got clear trail. Right. So they're not.
So how long did you have to wait? Like at the like how many people were doing it?
I believe they had like 1,600.
Okay,
but I think that was all events. So they do a 100K, which is split up into solos, or you can do it in a team of 4.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you can even do a team of 2. Okay. So all those people take off at the start, and they also do a 50K run, which they started an hour later.
With the team of 2, do they do that in 2 lots of 50, or do they do 25 and then swap 25?
50 each, I believe.
I wonder would it be worse if you'd run 25 and then set it out knowing you've got to do another 25?
Yeah, that one. That would be.
You reckon?
Oh yeah.
I guess the cool down time, because old mate's doing 25 not that quickly. That's enough time to seize up.
Probably.
Yeah, that'd be interesting actually. The team thing would be interesting. I've been trying to, with my other work, I want to try and organise doing like 20 people doing 5Ks and then just having a large team. It's obviously not part of it. It'd just be a different thing. But if I can get that across, that'd be sweet, having a whole bunch of people doing 5Ks. But
yeah, the team down there is really good. Like a lot of people get involved. I think sporting clubs do it. And obviously because you're only running one leg, they really push the pace. And some people finish in I think the course record's 7 hours or something for the team.
Oh, really?
That's flying. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. But that's nuts that old mate still did it in 8.
Mate.
With the team
And
doing 4.
like, not offending, he's an older bloke. I think his category was the 40 to 50 or something.
Oh, they're old as those blokes.
Well, you'd think, a spring chicken would.
Well, it's funny because other dudes that, like I've seen that are trail runners and stuff are generally older.
Yeah.
Like dudes that are doing powerlifting and stuff aren't. No. But yeah, the older blokes seem to be pretty good.
This bloke who won, I think he puts in, consistently puts in like 100K weeks all the time.
Yeah.
Just another day out for him.
Just an average day. Yeah. Right. So you've kicked off right before the thing. You would have been pretty nervous, and then as soon as you've taken your first few steps, is that just all gone because you're like, I'm just doing it now?
No, it took me a while because I think, like I said, my heart rate shot right up because I got caught up. You're trying to find your rhythm, and on Saturday the swell was huge. So usually you don't get too wet, but I had wet feet in the first it was awful. And I've actually got this massive blister on my pinky from it still. So coming back from road night back to Anglesey, it's all along the rocks.
Yeah.
And my feet got so wet. We
had some of the boys did the Spartan race, and the first thing they do is they make you run across the river, and the boys just sat down, took their shoes and socks off, and just walked across the river. Took their shirts off, dried their feet, put them back on.
Yeah,
and they were like genius. None of them had an issue with their feet because that was their thing. They said the biggest thing that's going to be an issue here is our wet feet.
Yep.
So I can't believe they did that to you in the first 200 metres.
Well, they advertise it as like you'll get wet feet in the first leg. But when I did it last year, I didn't get wet feet until like just before Torquay, like with 500 metres to go, they make you cross the river. So I was like, it'll be like that again. So I wore an old pair of shoes that aren't the comfiest, and I was like, it's okay because I'm going to be dry until Torquay, and then I'll get them off.
Yep.
Nah.
Can you do shoe changes and stuff?
Yeah, so I did.
Cool.
So at the first aid station in Torquay, I changed my shoes into my comfy.
Did you, on this one, did you have change of shoes?
Yep, I did the same.
Yeah, nice.
Yep. But having wet shoes so early, my pinky toe started rubbing in my old shoes, and I got this big blister that gave me a bit of grief.
Yeah. How far in did doubt start creeping in? Like, was it literally as soon as you started running going, what have I done? Or
Nah, I think first leg was pretty good. So the first 21K, I was fine. And it's also a pretty cruisy run too. The first leg, it's pretty flat along the beach, and you're fresh. So all those carbs that I ate during the week were still on board.
But being heavier though, were you like, oh, my knees are a little bit?
It wasn't too bad, I don't think. But then Torquay back to Anglesey, I don't know if it was doubts, but
so is that after 21?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from Anglesey to Torquay, first checkpoint's at 21Ks, just at the rotunda there, down underneath the Surf Life Saving Club. So changed my shoes, fill up my water bottles, dried my feet, made sure all that was good. And then
the first 21Ks you'd run with wet feet?
The first.
Because what's that, 5:30 in the morning until, how long does it take you to do 21?
I think it was 2.5 hours, I reckon.
So did you guys run that whole thing?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like there's bits where the idea is you run when you can and you walk when you have to, essentially. Yep. So if there's a big cliff or a big hill in the first section, you're not going to burn your legs out by going up it. So just power marching up it, and then when you get to the top, get your breath back and then back on the run.
Yep. So is there how much stuff did you and Fitzy talk about with strategy and that sort of thing?
None?
Nah.
I think that sort of stuff, it's just like an unwritten we'll walk up the hills, we'll run when we can when it's flat.
And you didn't have we're going to try and stick to 6.5 minute Ks or anything like that?
No. First leg was a lot quicker than the others, obviously, because you're fresh. But we didn't. Time was never really an option. We just wanted.
That's not what Fitzy said. Yeah, Fitzy said he wanted you in under 16 to get beers.
Well, there are certain cut-offs, which we made comfortably.
Yeah.
But no, I just wanted to get it done in a respectable time. I didn't want to be crawling over the line at midnight.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too far away. As it turns out.
You were only an hour off what Fitzy wanted you to get in.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. And I've had a little look back at because there's timing mats all through the course.
Yep.
And probably time again, probably spent too long at a couple of the aid stations maybe, especially the Anglesea one and the Moggs Creek one. Like I think the Moggs Creek one we were there for almost 40 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. Because the idea is you go in and you want to come out better than you've gone in feeling.
Yeah.
So you could certainly shave that time down, but again, it's a double-edged sword because if you go in there and rush out and then you get 8 Ks down the road and go, oh, man, I wish I had have done this. I wish I'd eaten that.
Yeah.
So it'll work out.
What about water? Because you were pretty dehydrated by our conversations that we were having around
I had an incident.
Yeah.
I thought I kept up my fluids pretty well, but obviously not.
But you might have just been like sweating a lot more than you were thinking.
Yeah. So I don't know how accurate it is, but I've had a look at some of my stats from my watch.
Yeah.
And it said that the estimated sweat loss was like 11 litres or something.
And how much do you reckon you would have taken on?
Not that much. No.
But like, because your pack wasn't that large. Like how much water are you carrying in your?
So I've got 2 500ml flasks.
Yeah, right.
So I had one with water and one with like an electrolyte drink. So I was trying to, there's pretty much somewhere to fill up your bottles every 10K. I was trying to make sure that I had at least finished one flask by every water point, which I didn't always. Like sometimes I'd have to tip some out, but trying to really consistently just sip on water.
Yeah. So every 10K you should have had a litre.
Ideally.
Yeah. And that still would have been under where you were at. Yeah. So you would have been nowhere near hydrated.
And I would have been bloody pissing everywhere.
That's funny because like we always used to have at least like 3 or 4 litres of water on us when we were like pack marching and stuff like that.
Yep.
And we obviously weren't. I mean, we were sweating because it was like a lot of the time it was hotter and stuff up there. But yeah, like if you didn't have at least that much water on you, and then if it wasn't gone by the time you were able to fill the water bottles again, people were having a go at you. But there's obviously no there's just self-police stuff there. But
also there's no like, you've got no water points or aid stations. That's what you've got is what you've got. So you sort of.
That's what I mean. Like would you take more water next? Well, I mean, you didn't even drink it all. So there's not really much point carrying more water, is there?
No,
if you're not going to drink it.
Yeah. Some people do like have the 2 flasks and they put like a Camelback in their pack as well.
Yeah.
But then it's extra weight.
And just yeah.
And I was pretty happy. Like I thought I was doing well until the incident. But
yeah. But so I mean, you wouldn't wear any more water. You'd just
I was pretty happy with that.
But would you like be more consistent maybe about drinking? Like would you force yourself and go, hey, I need to stop and have a drink or whatever?
So I think what I did this time to prevent what happened last time when I botched my nutrition is on my Garmin you can set reminders when you run. So I've got a little reminder when I set a run. Every 40 minutes it buzzes and reminds me to eat.
Right.
So I probably would have done that with water because I was just trying to constantly, just have a sip. But you forget. You just, like, shit, I haven't had any water for a while. So I'll have it. But yeah.
So you weren't getting thirsty or anything?
It was a cold day, so not really.
Yeah.
It was sort of cold, wet and windy, so I didn't have a dry mouth or anything like that. But getting a dry mouth now. Thank God I've got this.
It was a solid one-handed open too. It was staunch.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Got distracted.
You were talking about setting alarms for like your water and stuff like that, but it was cold and you weren't.
Yeah, I was never thirsty. There was times where I'd drink and be like, oh, that tastes so good. So.
Oh, the electrolytes one, yeah.
No, the water.
Oh, really?
When you're really thirsty and water tastes great.
Well, that should have been your heads up. What is this? This is the best drink I've ever had.
It's just plain water.
Yeah. Yeah, so are you going to talk about the incident or whatever it is you want to talk about? Or
well, it was very late on.
Yeah.
Was it 70 Ks in, I reckon?
Mm.
So, I guess Anglesea to Torquay, good. And then Torquay to Anglesea, second leg 2, I think it's about 27 Ks, where you go back up along the cliffs of Bells, and then you go into the Jarosite Basin, which is off near Bells Beach, and then you shoot in out the back of Anglesea. So that felt good in there. It wasn't too bad in terms of I was eating, I was drinking. I was trying to eat ahead, so I wasn't playing catch up. So I felt like I probably took on more food, like gels and stuff, in the early stages of the race, so I could sort of bank them for later. I had a bit of a lull, probably 35K in, 35, 40K in where I just wasn't having a good time. Didn't feel good. All the food you eat, like I said, it's all bars and gels and it's all sweet. So like my mouth was all, it was disgusting. That's probably why the water tasted so good.
True.
So I felt good, got into Anglesea, and it was pouring. So that was 48 Ks.
Oh, when I was driving back from over Cranbourne Way, I was just like, what a terrible day to be doing anything outside, let alone I was looking at the clock. I'm like, it's already been 9 hours. I'm like, screw that. Not interested.
So I think we got 48 Ks was Anglesea, and I think we were probably 6.5, maybe 7 hours in. So moving pretty well. And then got into Anglesea, changed my socks, had some food, and off we went. And as you come out of Anglesea, you actually, to cross the Great Ocean Road, they make you crawl under the Anglesea Bridge. And that was the worst. Like 48 Ks in, hands and knees on like this really, it was like mini golf turf. It was so spiky and hard.
Yeah.
Just doing anything apart from running at that stage with your legs, like it was the worst. So I had to crawl under the bridge, just almost in tears.
Yeah. How far is that? It's only like 10 metres.
Well, you didn't have to say that.
Well, it's still crappy. But it's the other thing is too, like, did anyone, because it's like was it just under a bridge or was it like through a tunnel sort of thing?
No, it's just under a bridge and like probably maybe a metre, maybe high. Yeah. And like water right next to you.
Yeah. So. It's just a weird thing for them to throw in.
I guess if you've got 1,600 people trying to cross the Great Ocean Road, it's probably going to cause some havoc.
No, you just get some cops there. Stand there for 18 hours.
Or some stop-go guys.
Just like, yeah, but cops are cheaper, I think.
Yeah, probably right at the moment.
Yeah. So where was that? That's like 40-something K in.
48K in, yeah.
So when you, at 21, you said that was the first time you sort of started thinking, what's going on?
Yeah, I think so, because you're fresh and then you've already done 21 Ks and you go,
I'm not even a quarter away.
Yeah, you've only got 80 to go. Yeah. And like we spoke about last time, leg 2 is where I all came undone.
Yeah.
Probably because the same as last year, I felt good at the start because I'd eaten and I'd drunk and then it all fell apart. And I don't think I ever felt that creeping in, but I certainly remembered parts of the race like, I felt really bad this time. Like I was really struggling at this point here.
Yeah.
But no, coming into Anglesea, I wasn't feeling too great, but there was never any doubts.
Do you reckon if Fitzy wasn't there, it would have been different?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You reckon?
We'll never know.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have quit, but it would have been easier to.
Yeah.
100%. It would have been easier too because, in a way, you don't want to let the person you're running with down and vice versa.
But even after how you felt after the last time, I wouldn't have thought you'd, like even if Fitzy had pulled out, I would have thought you would have been like, well, regardless, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like,
and Anglesea is the really hard one because it's the halfway point, but it's also the start.
Yep.
And it's also convenient. It's like, well, I've done 48 Ks.
Yeah,
that's right. It's the most convenient place. Whereas I just knew if I could get out of that aid station, I'd be golden. And I was as soon as I got out.
How long did you stay at that one?
Probably 20 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
I reckon. So, change shoes, have something to eat, fill up your water bottles, had some fruit. And then Fitzy's wife was there and she's a savage. She's just like, you guys need to get out.
Yeah, like why are you still here?
Essentially. And I was like, oh, yes, Mum.
Yeah.
And then off we went. And leg 3 is they call it the crux of the course, and it is. It's a really, really tough section. I think it took us the longest. It took us almost 5.5 hours maybe to do 48 to 77. So it's a big leg, and it's from Anglesea, out the back of Anglesea, out the back of there is letting you end up in Moggs Creek, and it's pretty much just all climbing. It's all hills.
Yeah.
And it's really, really hard. And it had been a wet week, obviously, and some of those hills, it was like walking up and trying to get down, like walking on peanut butter. It was just so sloshy and gross.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
It was, that's not ideal.
No.
It was funny. I was having Bright for that, and there was we had some of that rain, and just how quickly the trails turn into like clay slides is not ideal.
Yeah, those ones out the back, they were. I had running poles, and there were times where they saved me from going over. 100%. Yeah, definitely. but also like trying to get up some of the hills and like you plant your foot and it just slides straight back. So you got no traction at all.
Yeah.
So
And then if you get, I find even just going for, like when you're walking in boots and stuff, and then you, like when we're doing full driving, and then the clay that just sticks to your boots, now your boots weigh.
Yeah, they were
like
so
another 5 kilos.
And then like trail shoes they're almost sort of like footy boots in a way because they've got really long lugs.
Okay.
But once they fill up, you're just sliding all over the joint. And they're really hard to get out.
Oh no. So that at any point there's like you and Fitzy talking about like it. I just wonder because if I was running on there, you're like, oh, how you going, mate? It's like thinking, what do you reckon? Should we cut it away or how are we going here?
Nah, there was, funnily enough, I almost went mute for a large section.
Oh, I'm aware. You were mute when I met you.
Yeah, and like you saw, and I don't know what it was. I think on reflection, it's probably my brain could only comprehend doing one thing, and that was running.
Moving forward.
That was going forward. There were certain sections where, and like, don't get me wrong, I love Fitzy, but I was sick of talking. I even told him, like, I'm sick of talking to you, mate. It's been 9 hours. I'm sick of you. So, and, you know, sometimes you'd have a chat to, you know, I had a chat to this one bloke on the trail who, you know, his biggest run had been 46. And I think I met up with him it was before that, it would have been in the 30s. And then, you know, we crossed over again at, might have been 50 or so. Said to him, mate, like, you're winning. Every step's a win. And it's good to talk to other people. But then when it was just me and Fitzy, it was just like, well, I just got to move forward. Like that's all my brain could do.
I loved, like Fitzy obviously had a little video that he'd been making with the GoPro the whole time. Like when I got there and Fitzy's like, I was like, oh, hey, mate, how you going? Yeah, no, you've been good. Yeah, good. Yeah. He's like got his GoPro out and he's filming stuff. Yeah, like, Nick, how you going?
Yeah.
That was all I got.
I had to say to a couple of people who like, at the very end, we tagged on with a couple of people who finished the last section with us. And I just said to the lady we were running with, like, I'm really sorry. Like, I can't. All I can do at the moment is go forwards. I can't chat. I'm sorry. She's like, no, that's fine. I don't understand. So, yeah, there was very quiet parts.
So that 41 till 77, that's in Moggs Creek. Because I would have met up with you around probably 82, 83.
Yeah, I reckon.
So you just got through that crappy part. Yeah. That'd be why you didn't explain it at the time.
I was still grumpy.
Yeah.
So the next aid station after that, there's a watering point at 60K, which is, I guess you're out the back of Aries. And it was really nice at 60K. It just so happened my best mate's mum, Deb, and her daughter, my best mate's sister, Rach, Deb and Rach, I just was running over to Nick, and like to see some friendly faces when I was in a world of hurt was the best. And Deb, obviously my best mate's mum, is like, in turn, like my second mum. Yep. And she just went full mum mode. It was so sweet. She's like, have you been eating? Because she listened to the first.
Oh, really? Yeah.
She's like, have you been eating? Make sure you drink. And it was so sweet.
You're like, I haven't been drinking, actually.
So that was really nice at 60. And then from 60, the next aid station at 70, and it's pretty much a 10K climb. So just straight out the back of the Otways, just going uphill, which is really, really hard.
Which is rude considering you thought you were already going uphill the whole time.
And it's a long section because there's no water, no nothing. And it's just, mate, I was so sick of being in the bush. Get me out of the bush. I was so sick of it.
You just want to do some more like beach running or just out of that single trail rubbish?
It was so beautiful, don't get me wrong. But it's just where my brain was at. I was like, I don't want to be in here anymore. I want to go home.
Yeah. Do you reckon if given the opportunity, like if your missus came past with the car or whatever, you like just want to tap out, you would have gone?
I don't think so. I would have kept going. But it was also like, because she wasn't, like Ash did come out at Torquay.
Yeah. She hate you after the last pod, were you like, it's on her that I failed last time?
Nah, not at all. It was so sweet. She brought Henry out, and that, like seeing them at Torquay at the start was really good. And then, so after 60K, climb up the next aid station at 70, which is at Distillery Creek out the back of Aries. So I filled up there, had some food, and then I went to the toilet. First wee I'd done since the morning, and that was really interesting.
I think the term Coke was used.
Yeah.
Looked like cola?
Yeah, and kind of felt like cola too. It was
like all bubbly and stuff?
Nah, like syrupy.
Oh.
It was
just kidding.
Yeah, so I go and do a wee at 70 Ks at the toilets there, and I just standing there expecting to do a wee, and got the shock of my life when Coca-Cola coloured where he came out. And I was a little bit concerned.
Just having my awkward savvy moment over here on my own.
While I talk about where he coloured. So I was a little bit...
Oh, you can hear it.
It doesn't look...
Looks about the same.
Well, mine's a lot darker.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And I think got out of the toilet and I said to Fitzy, I was like, oh, this just happened. He's like, yeah, you'll be right. Which apparently is really bad.
Yeah. I remember talking with Mel about it afterwards. I'm like, no, that's not it. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's not a she'll be right moment.
Yeah.
And I think it probably turns out that I'm lucky I didn't tell anyone because they probably could have said, no,
Yeah, cut it away.
let's go.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it that way or you can go, they might have saved you.
Well, I finished.
Yeah. It's funny because you just wonder, had you have kept pushing, like running real hard and that sort of stuff, whether, because the rest of it, was it downhill then after that?
Sections.
Yeah.
Sections were.
Because it's interesting because if you'd kept heating up and stuff, like whether rhabdo would have been a thing, in which case that would have been your last trail run pretty much.
Yeah, great.
Because it's generally you're more susceptible to get it again.
Oh, okay.
And easier. So like if you have it one time, then.
Well, I didn't do any Googling post because.
Didn't you?
Oh, no.
Do you want to hear about it?
No way. And I didn't really want to tell Ash about it either.
That's all right. She won't listen to this.
I told her and then at home she saw it because I had to show someone. Sorry.
No, do your thing, man.
So, 70K. And then the next big aid station was 77K at Moggs Creek. And so that's when I think it really hit me that, I'm going to finish this thing.
At 77?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
There was nothing stopping me from doing it.
I was going to ask you that. At which point did you think, I'm finishing this?
Probably.
At the start, did you think you were going to finish?
No, and like we spoke about it, there's nothing.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
But were you confident you were finishing it? Or were you?
I was confident that the preparation that I'd done would be enough.
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't confident in finishing. And there were times, like it's such a long day. We were out there for
17 hours.
17 hours. And I think the thing about doing ultra running is you can go to hell during it, but then you can come back and feel good. But then because it's such a long time, you go back down into hell and then you could also come back. So there were so many ebbs and flows during
77,
the day.
you're like, I'm going to make this. 82, you're like, no, I'm not.
Because funnily enough, after 77, there was a huge climb out of Moggs Creek.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going up this hill for like 4K and I was like, I can't do this anymore. But coming into the aid station at 77K, Ash had come down with my son Henry and he had made this sign, it said "Go Daddy" on it. He'd coloured it in. And as I turned the corner to come in, he was standing there with the sign above his head going, "Go Daddy, go Daddy." And mate, I lost it. I turned to water. I started bawling my eyes out.
But you didn't have water to lose. So that's on you, Ash. Thanks for that. He's already dehydrated. And electrolytes because you're losing salt now as well.
No good.
Never again do that.
A combination of coming into that aid station knowing that I've only got 20 odd or whatever it is to go, and then seeing my family like, oh mate, I was a mess.
I like the way you make it sound like 20's nothing when you've done 80. Like it's all relative, I guess. Like if someone's like, oh, let's go for a 20K run, I'm like, no, not even remotely interested.
I think that now.
But
after it.
Yeah, but like at the time you're like, oh, we've got like 1/5 of the way left. Like it's nothing.
It's funny because we actually had a section, whatever the maths is, 50, 58K in. And I remember saying to Fitzy,
down of 100, mate, 58%.
I said to him, mate, it's only a marathon to go.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how chopped my brain was, thinking that only having 42K to go.
Marathons are nothing now.
Nah.
That's what's funny about it. Like Fitzy doing a 100 miler is like 165K.
That's
too
far.
So now him doing 100Ks is probably
a training run.
Yeah. I just wonder, because even when I saw his face, like he didn't look phased. Like, no offense, because you did. But I just wonder if that's experience, because now you've done 100. So like doing a 50 now is probably not as big a deal anymore. Like you'd probably get to 40 and go, oh, I've only got 10 left. I'm going to sprint this one now.
Yeah, and all the feelings I was feeling, like the ebbs and flows of just my emotions, I guess. He'd probably felt that before, whereas I hadn't. Like there was times where I was really, really struggling in a really dark place. Like I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I want to go home. This is really, really hard.
Man, I get that delivering mail. I'm like, go around the block to like drop something off. Oh, I should have taken the one wheel. It's like,
But then, 5K down the track, like, oh, I'm good. Let's go for a run. Yep. Get a bit of a consistent pace going. So there was so much of that I was experiencing for the first time. It was probably taking a bit out of me emotionally as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's probably felt that before and knew.
You can see that in footy teams, like when the other team gets like 3 or 4 goals and they're like, like they're not any less fit, or where they're just like mentally they've just starting to give up. So everything's harder now.
Yeah.
But when you're in a good headspace, but like that's like when your kid turn up and stuff. Now all of a sudden you're up and about. Nothing really changed with your body. It's just your mindset.
Yeah, and like what we said last time, like seeing a friendly face like I did. I saw Deb and Rach at 60, and that was like, oh yes, how good seeing someone that you know and who is there to support you and cheer you on. And then coming around the corner and seeing Henry and Ash, like that was just too much. Yeah, body was like, nah, you're going to cry now. So I'm sitting at the aid station, not trying to eat minestrone soup, just bawling my eyes out.
People are like, what's wrong? What's wrong with the soup? You're like, oh, I hate this flavour. Like, why didn't they have something else? Yeah.
So that was lovely. And then, so at 77 is the last big change. Because it was coming into nighttime, I put some warm clothes on, changed my socks again, and off we went for the last 23 odd Ks, which was when you sort of popped up.
Those 2 people that you were running with that weren't obviously Fitzy, like how long had you been running with those guys for?
So the lady, her name was Rachel. We ran a fair section of leg 3 with her. She sort of teamed up with us, and we just we would go on the same pace, so that was good. And then we actually thought that she had taken off at the 70-kilometre aid station. We thought that she'd gone off ahead of us, and we'd not lost her, but she'd gone. And then we took off from Moggs, and then the next point is 85 Ks in Aries, and we were sitting there refueling, and then she popped up and was like, oh, Nick and Fitzy, you're here. Can we do the last leg together? And I'm like, oh, absolutely, jump on.
And then did you feel bad that you'd left her behind?
Well, we thought that you'd gone off ahead of us because she was really, really looking good.
Yep.
And then
she was up and about when I saw her.
Yeah, and then the other bloke we met, the French guy, was at that aid station too, and we just tagged on, and that made the last 15K pretty good.
Yep. It was funny, like just appearing at random places. Oh, good. Because I was trying to use your dots, and it's interesting because the dot, I don't know, like if Fitzy came in maybe 10 metres ahead of you or something else like that, but because it goes off an average time, the dots end up spreading out. I'm like, oh, that's weird that Fitzy wouldn't be staying with him. And then I remembered Fitzy's like, oh, they're not 100%. They don't follow you the whole time.
Oh, I didn't know that because Ash was saying the same thing. She's like, they were really hard to follow.
Yeah. And the drama is like if you're not going to an aid station, so you can sort of assume that you guys will stop. You're just like, oh, is the dot in front of me? Is it behind? Or whatever else it is. It doesn't have like a time that works out on average because it'll change because of the up and downs and that sort of thing.
Right, okay.
But yeah, so there was a couple of times when I'd gone there and both of your dots had gone past, and then I was like, oh, here we go. But I'm like, nah, because there's 4 lights together. And then I was thinking, well, maybe they split up. Maybe I missed it.
Yeah, right.
But the 4 lights was easy to work out, especially when you're on the beach because you can see it from miles away. That was a win. But yeah, it was interesting the first time when I came past. Oh, sorry, when I was waiting there, like it's almost like a suburban street that you went past, and there was this couple that were there, and their daughter was in the car. I didn't know she was in the car, but I was like, "Oh, how long have you guys been here for?" They're like, "Oh, we've been waiting for a bit." I was like, "What's the average time? Like how they do this and stuff?" And they're like, "Oh, we're just waiting on my daughter's fiance or husband or whatever he was." And then she's like, oh, it's like, oh, they're not running together. She's like, oh, no, she's finished. She did it in 12 hours. I was like, what a weapon. And I'm like talking this bird up. I'm like, that's amazing. What a weapon. I'm like, what, now you're waiting on the husband? And I'm looking at it, it's like 3 hours later. This poor bastard is still trying to catch up. The end of that, yeah. And he didn't care at the time because he ran past. When he ran past, he's like, oh. And then I'm like, oh, so they're like, she was waiting in the car. I assumed they meant back at the, like she'd finished and she's just like taking it easy, just waiting in the car. And then I was like, oh, that's amazing, 12Ks, this and that. And she's like, yeah, thanks. And she's in the car. I was like, oh, this is awkward. I'd been talking enough and ragging on her husband while she was there. She didn't argue that part though.
No, she wouldn't.
She was happy to go along with that. But yeah, they would sort of explain the dots and stuff. They're like, yeah, no, they're not 100%. But yeah, it was good to see like the each time you'd go past, it comes up with like last seen at. and stuff like that as well. So you know that they've definitely been there because it was like last seen at, and then the dots are just an estimate because of the pace you'd been travelling at to sort of get from there to there. So if Fitzy had come in, I don't know, like 20 metres in front of you over the next however long, it just does it at like 3 seconds difference. So he keeps getting ahead or whatever. But yeah, so I just went off your one because yours was a lot more accurate than Fitzy's one was. But yeah, like when I turned up at that bicycle track, because it was just I was just following, because Fitzy was like, "Oh, see you later, mate. There's probably no other places to see." I was like, "Yeah, we'll see about that." Yeah. I was like, "I know exactly where you are. Don't worry about it." Yeah. So I pulled over on the side of the road, the Great Ocean Road, because the path comes up to like within sort of 200 metres.
Oh, okay.
That's how I found you that time. So I just parked on the side of the road and then walked into the bushes. But I felt bad because that was weird for people running. It's just
big, huge guy.
Yeah,
just waiting for someone else.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on a mate. Don't mind me. I'm just in the middle of the bush, probably talking to myself on my phone. Yeah, I'm the only one going the other direction, and like there's these poor ladies just running through the bush by themselves, already 85k in, going, "I'm literally defenceless."
Yeah, that's all they need.
Yeah,
see you in a hoodie behind a tree.
Yeah, some random unit just hiding in the bush, going, "Yeah,
just waiting for a mate."
Yeah. It's so awkward because I'm like, how far do I go before these boys get here? Because your dots had gone, and I'm like, well, I mean, I can keep going here, but anyway, that was good fun. Then I saw the gang, and
it was good.
Yeah, you guys were. Fitzy was up and about, and then that Rochelle, was that her name?
Yeah, I think it was Rachel.
Rachel. Yeah, so she was up and about as well, and then you and the Frenchman were just muttering to each other.
Couldn't understand the bloke they were saying.
That might just be how they talk.
He might have been speaking French for all I know.
But but it was funny though, because then I started walking with you guys, but it wasn't a casual walk. You guys are still moving.
Yeah. So at that stage, we weren't running, I guess, by the letter of the law. For a couple of reasons. Legs were pretty shot, but also the trail, like where you get, it was
dangerous, man.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have been confident running it. Like I've already stubbed my toe and almost fallen over like 4 times during the day.
Yeah.
So I was a lot more comfortable just sort of power walking it, because even then I was hitting tree roots and rocks and stuff.
Going through it at dark, I was like, this is dumb.
Yeah, and like my head torch,
glad you guys had torches.
It's good, but it's not great. Like I'd want a really, really good head torch to be comfortable.
I saw some of the people that went past had like a belt on, and the belt had a torch, so it was on the ground.
That's a good idea.
And then they had a head torch, so where they were looking was obviously the other thing. Because there's sticks as well. There's like sticks that are going to get you in the eye and all that sort of stuff, as well as the track. And everyone's just staring down because they hate their life. And then they're just going to miss the stuff that hits them in the eyes. But yeah, that was nuts how dark that was.
Yeah, pitch black, not because there's no street lights down there.
No,
just pitch black, and all you've got is a little head torch.
Oh, and that's why I felt so bad. Like I'd see a light coming. I'm like, hey, how you going? Like trying to be friendly beforehand, because I'm just like, these poor punters are just like, I'm exhausted. I'm going to get murdered. Great, like because they're running on
what I need.
Yeah, and then just running on their own in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, oh, great. Some randoms come. This is it.
My time's up.
Yeah, this is how I die. Great. Yeah, just went out of my way. Yeah, and even just on the trail, obviously, just got out of the way for him, and they're like, "Oh, thanks for that." And then some other poor bloke goes, "Oh, how'd you get in here?" I'm like, "Oh, it's the road's only like 100 meters." But he goes, "Oh, I'm calling my wife." And I was like, "No, you're not quitting now, mate." He goes, "No, I need my sticks. My calf's killing me. It's been locked up for ages." Because I'm thinking I'm now the Nick. I'm like, he's going to say, "Take me out of here and take me home," and I was going to say, "Nah."
No,
like,
not at 89K.
I'm not going to do it to you, mate. I'm not going to do it to you. He'd be like, you will. But no, yeah, because he would have been 85 or something in at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then he rang his wife like a couple of times because he wanted to come up to the where I was parked and then just give me sticks, and she wouldn't answer. He was livid.
He would have been furious.
He was livid. And he's like, I guess I'll just keep going then.
Well, you knew what you signed up for.
Yeah. But it's funny because like you've changed shoes, you had walking sticks, you had all this sort of stuff. Like it's a fair mission. So
yeah, and it required a lot of organisation and that sort of stuff as well. And you're very reliant on aid stations to fill up bottles and have food and that sort of stuff.
So then I would have seen you. We were there was those punters that were dancing out near their car. They had tunes and stuff.
Oh yeah, I think that's Urquhart's Beach.
Yeah, that's it.
And there was lots of those people like just randomly, because there are spectator points, but you just kind of like, how did you get in here?
Yeah,
and playing tunes, and there was one section. It was way back in Torquay. There was like little kids had set up a lemonade stand. They were selling like homemade lemonade.
5 cents, or how's inflation going?
They had bloody a little square pay, like card payments accepted. That was entrepreneur stuff.
Wow. Yeah, right.
But yeah, heaps of little spots where you just pop up and people would be ringing those bells and playing music. It was great.
Yeah. It was funny when you guys left and their friends came through and then they went to start the car. It just didn't work. It's like tick, 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 tick. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Lucky you were there.
Well, I mean, they probably would have. He was like, oh, we can roll start it. And I was like, well, you can, but I've literally just got this little device thing. Meanwhile, they are worth their weight in gold. Like as soon as you jump start yourself once off that, basically an RSEV call out. So it's pretty much the same. They're like $220. Just a heads up. Anyone's there, get a jump starter kit. Okay. It saved me and other people so many times. Anyway, besides that, so then you guys ran off down the beach, and it looked really good actually with all the people along the beach. And then I went to, I think there's some other lookout or Govos or something like that. So Govos, there's like a little car park at the top again.
Yeah, Govos Beach, yep.
Off the Ocean Road, and then you park there, but it's a lookout as well. So you could see all the lights coming up the beach and all the ones that still went.
It's cool seeing and even in the morning as well, because you start in the dark, you just see the kilometres of just headlights along the beach, and then at night it was the same, just like dots along the beach. Yeah, it was really cool to see.
Yeah, and so that was cool. Went and saw you guys there, and then it was funny that people had written all those notes and stuff on the sand as well.
You could have written us a note.
I know, and then I didn't think about it till we came back. Because I didn't see the notes until we were walking. We're like, oh, people have written stuff. Yeah, that was pretty nice as well to just like. It's just funny what little things like that will do for you. And then so I left Govos. I met you at Road Night.
Yep.
There, you guys were fair moving then.
Yeah,
it was funny. Sometimes you guys were more open to having a yarn whilst you were strolling, and then other times you were just like moving. As soon as it was flat, you guys were moving.
Well, that's I think at that point too, I think we might have had 4K to go or something. Yeah. So I could taste it. I could smell the finish line. Yeah. And by that stage, I just wanted to get off my feet. I just wanted to lay down.
Yeah.
Have a shower.
We've gone past there, and then because it was awkward then too, because the Road Night is another hill. Like there's another up and down there. Yeah. It's not ideal. But then after that, it's pretty much downhill and then flat into the finish line. And then could you hear the cowbells going?
Yeah.
And you knew you were getting closer? Yeah.
And that was a good thing during the day too, is like when I was really struggling, you could hear the aid stations coming up because you could hear the music or whatever. You could hear people or see, cars through the trees or something.
Yeah.
But when coming back down the hill into Anglesea past the Surf Lifesaving Club, even then you could hear the music in the wind and the faint echoes of cowbells. And I was like,
you knew that was the last one?
So close.
Yeah.
So close. Just got to stomp through another kilometre of sand to get there.
Yeah, which is lame. Like, why do they need to add sand?
Too much sand. So much sand.
It'd be interesting to do one out in the Simpson because it's so flat. Like if you did the Unadad track or something, but screw that weather. Zero shade.
The mob that do this one, they do one out. They do an ultra out in Alice Springs, I reckon. Like
really?
Uluru. That'd be pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Hot.
Yeah,
hot.
So you come around. How far out do you reckon you start celebrating in your head that you've made it?
Like I think at 77, I was
really
quietly celebrating. Like,
okay,
there was nothing going to stop me from finishing that race at that point.
Okay.
I think I'd had, it was still 20 odd Ks to go.
That was you celebrating when I saw you. You're not much of a party animal.
No. And when I did finish, went across the finish line, like almost 17 hours later, I had nothing. Yeah. I'd used every part of my physical and mental energy to get myself across that line. And then I forgot about the medal. Like I was about to walk off and no, your medal. I was like, oh, yeah, here we go. Thank you.
It's like, mail it to me. I don't care.
I was so cooked. Because I think for so long, all I was focusing on was 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other. That's all I could do.
It was funny watching you come in. And you'd pulled up pretty much 2 meters beforehand and then just like you were jogging and then just walked and you had the sticks under your arm and you got like a meter past the finish line. You're like, that's me done. I'm not moving anymore. It's me done.
So I wanted to be teleported from there horizontal into my bed.
It was almost like because they're like, oh, come get a photo and do this and do that. Okay, sure. I don't care anymore.
No, and it was so like it was 17. It was the longest time I've ever done anything for.
Yeah,
at once. Like I've never worked a 17-hour shift. I've never done anything.
Must be nice.
I've never done anything, I don't think, for 17 hours before.
Yeah.
One thing. And I was sick of doing it.
Yeah. Not a good thing to be doing for 17 hours. Like at least when I've worked 17 hours, I've been sitting my ass for a lot of it. It's like doing nothing. But yeah, it's it was funny too because then you like they're like, here, have one of these. It's like a beer, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
You seem overly enthusiastic
the
about
first sip
it.
of that was so good.
Oh yeah.
And then the second was like, ugh. Oh, it was disgusting. Nothing against the beer.
Yeah.
It was just at that stage, it was the last thing my body wanted. Was a beer.
Yeah. It's, a diuretic, excellent.
But yeah, and it's funny how quickly my body started to just, I don't know what happened, but my body just started to like shut down. It was just like, nah, you're done now. Like I started getting really cold. I didn't probably prepare for that part of the race at all. Fitzy's getting changing his jocks and putting clothes.
But you did well to get your tracker off straight away.
Oh, I didn't want to. Yeah, I was done.
Yeah, but even Fitzy hadn't remembered his tracker thing, so that was pretty switched on to do that. So your brain was obviously still functioning. But yeah, it was funny. I like ran past. I put a mic on Fitzy. He's like, "Yeah, mate, how you going? Yeah, right." This and that. I went to put on you, and you were like.
I had nothing.
It's just dead quiet. I've literally got a microphone on you. It's not even heavy breathing. It was just shut down.
Yeah, I had nothing. I had nothing left to give. I'd given it all.
Yeah, but that's good, man. That's a win. Left it all on the thing, and you came away with a win. So
yeah, which was it was great.
So what happened? It was funny because you tried to have that beer, and then it went everywhere, and then went all over your hands. So you couldn't even answer your phone.
Yeah,
I thought I was about to watch a meltdown when you couldn't answer the phone call.
So yeah, crossed the line, and obviously Ash was sitting at home because it was
must have the tracker.
Yeah, 20 to 11 or something at night, and it was probably 40 seconds after I'd crossed, 30 seconds, and I'd cracked open the beer, I'd beer over my hands, and I could feel
It was literally the same time. Like you'd crack it, and then I saw the light on you because it's on the video.
Couldn't bloody swipe the beer. I was like, I'm going to miss this beautiful moment.
Yeah.
But luckily Mel was there to save the day, and that was really lovely seeing Ash wait up and call me when I finished. It was lovely.
It was fun. I could see it on your face, but like when you answered it, and then
I've actually the video you got of it. I've watched it like a lot of times. It's really, really lovely.
Yeah, it's funny. The instant one just stops as soon as the phone answers. But, it was great to see. Like afterwards, I don't even know that you guys said much.
Nah, it was just
you just.
I think what did you say? Like, oh, you gonna hang around? And I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah, would not have thought so.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because I was like Fitzy, like, oh, you want to get ice cream and that sort of stuff, mate? What do you want to do? He's like, no, I think he just wants to get back, mate.
Did I want to get back?
Yeah. So we finished it. You guys got in the car. Fitzy obviously got changed into his new outfit. You just sat there debating your life. And then, so what happened then? They drive you back. You get home.
Got home. It was close to 11 or a bit past 11. Ash heard me come to the door, came down, gave me a big hug, which was lovely.
And it was like, you stink.
Well, I just walked straight to the laundry and just started because I had so much stuff. Like I had three bags that I'd taken to the aid station, all my stuff. I just got all my kit off in the laundry, and then as soon as I got my clothes off, I just like started shivering uncontrollably.
Yeah,
so I had to somehow get myself upstairs, which that's been an issue this week. That's been a real issue.
Yeah.
Then I jumped in the hot shower, and I was obviously chafing in places I didn't know I had when the water started hitting me.
Well, that's lucky though that you didn't know that at the time, because that's a real game changer. Like when your nipples are
no, they were taped.
Oh, genius.
They were taped.
It's funny, man. Like stuff like that you just don't think of, and it's such a crappy way to go out.
Just bleeding nipples.
Yeah, it's because it wasn't till like I'd done army stuff that I realised that was an issue. And same as like skins and stuff. If you get like certain skins, will sit there and just pull the hairs out of your legs, as opposed to other ones that'll just be beneficial. And it's weird. Like if you don't train with your stuff beforehand, don't just buy something new and then use it.
Make sure it works.
Not great.
Well, I used a lot of when I did that Coca-Cola wee at 70K. I was in the toilet block. I
don't know that they're going to be overly keen of us just using Coca-Cola as in like the trademark for what it was.
Brown syrupy urine. I don't know.
Cola's fine. Okay. Cola's not trademarked.
So I'd done my wee, and then I was like, I'll put some Vaso on my butt, like in my butt crack, and
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a big
No,
disclaimer.
I love it. Get around.
And so I'm there, obviously, with this bag of Vaseline, like doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Lubing yourself up.
This bloke walks in, and I was like, "I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm sorry." And he's like, "All good, mate. I understand."
Oh, we've all been there, mate.
Yeah.
Big weekend.
So that was good.
Yeah. So you've got home, gone up and down. How long did you sleep for? Did you do any post stuff? Like, did you sit there and force yourself to drink 5 Powerades and just rack out?
No, there was actually some leftover pesto pasta from the night before, so I annihilated that.
Yep.
Didn't touch the sides. And I actually ate it in bed, like sitting on the side of my bed.
Yeah.
Hot shower. Like filled up my water bottle. I put a whole heap of Himalayan salt in my water bottle and had a couple of sips, and then had some pasta and I was out.
Yeah.
Didn't sleep great, obviously, because I was so sore. Like every time I moved, it hurt.
How long were you in bed for though?
No.
Or did you have to wake up because you're a dad?
Yeah, pretty much. And that, like on Sunday, I was in so much pain, but a 2-year-old doesn't understand that. I was like, Dad's home, let's party.
Yeah.
And Dad couldn't party. Dad was really sore.
I saw Dad celebrating, and it's not a big deal, mate. He was not up and about.
It's almost like being hungover when you're kids. It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
And Ash was really tired because she had been up late.
Yeah.
as
So
well.
today's your day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she was amazing. But on the flip side of that was we were both cactus on the Sunday, and Henry was like, "All right, let's go, guys. What are we doing?" Jumping all over. Like, oh, careful of Dad's legs.
Yeah. So that was. Did you manage to do anything on Sunday though that was like recovery was? Did you do ice baths? Did you do?
Actually, no, I did. I did a quick ice bath just on my legs for sort of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think it was the point of beyond repair then. That wasn't going to fix anything. I just ate. Ate so much food.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, according to my watch, I think I burnt through like 10,000 calories during the day.
Yeah. 11 litres and 10,000 calories.
Yeah, so there's no way I put anything.
Did you weigh yourself?
No, I should have.
So disappointing.
Yeah. But yeah, I just tried
That would
to.
have been nuts because that's 11 kilo just water wise.
Yeah. Is it accurate though? Like, would it be?
Probably. I don't see why not.
I might go do it again. Probably need to lose it.
Yeah. Just do another one. But it's all water weight though, so it's not like it's a,
I've proved I can't.
some of it. I mean, with the 10,000 calories, there definitely some of that has to be fat.
Yeah.
Fat, but yeah, because if you just replace the water and not the food, maybe it would have been like vascular as.
Just shredded.
I should have done a calendar.
But no, just Sunday was just all about eating and not doing anything. It was so nice. I just sat as much as I could off my feet.
Was it? I can't remember. I was like, I sent you that thing about trail running or whatever it was afterwards, like the 100 miler.
You had the audacity to send me the link to a 100-mile race at like 4:00 on Sunday. I nearly threw my phone.
Yeah, absolutely effing not. I think it was the reply. And in capitals too. You weren't definitely shouting in text.
Absolutely, not a chance. That's too far.
Yeah, it was funny. I sent it to Fitzy as well, and Fitzy said, "I don't think Nick's ready for that."
So he's good to go.
Yeah. Oh, that was the thing. Like Fitzy didn't say no. He's just like, didn't you say Fitzy's got another race on?
He does, yeah. He's doing the Great Ocean Road Ultra in, I think it's mid-October. He must be like 3 weeks out now.
Yeah, right.
No.
How far is that? Another 100?
Yeah, he's doing 100. Yep.
He's a weird unit, Fitzy.
That's, yeah.
Do you reckon, like, because it's not a week yet and you're not interested, but do you reckon in another week you might be like, oh, maybe?
I have done some Googling already.
Really?
Yeah. It's sort of funny, like without getting deep and dark, is because it was a focus for so long and then it was over. I sort of had a bit of a mental crash where I was like, well,
makes sense.
Yeah, like, I've got nothing now. Like,
yeah.
What's
and
next?
We've spoken to a few people about it before. Like if you don't have goals, like whether it be a holiday that you've planned or a competition that you're doing or whatever, and that's why sport's amazing because you've got like, you have to go to training with the boys or you've got to do, you've got a grand final that you're aiming for, or I mean, even if you're just doing a pickleball tournament, like they have tournaments and stuff that you go for. Like it's something to aim for, something to do the mundane Monday to Friday stuff with a goal in mind. So whether it's, I don't know, a podcast that you're trying to do stuff with or whatever else it is. So it's like if you don't have another thing to focus on, then you just don't. It's like a ship without navigating, really.
Yeah.
It's just
floating
around. Yeah.
So yeah, I did sort of probably Monday, Tuesday. I was like, oh,
Monday.
yeah. I was like, Oh, yeah.
Right, so I missed it by a day. So what you're telling me? If I'd send it to you Monday, you're like, yeah, I'm in.
That one's a gnarly around the Grampians. That's a gnarly course. I think I've maybe Googled something like good beginner ultras or something.
Mate, you're a pro now. You've already done one.
Just one.
I was wondering how you'd go afterwards because I didn't know if it was just going to be like a thing where you'd want to tick it off because you're just like, it's 100K and I've done it now. And now I'm into triathlons or whatever else it is. Like I didn't know. I was curious to see where you'd go.
Because without the ultras aside, I do really enjoy trail running.
Okay.
Like I think that's something.
I can tell you're wearing T-shirts and everything now. You're just all about that life.
Didn't even realise.
Didn't you? As soon as you said it, I was like, this bloke. I was like, come on now.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I really enjoy trail running. I do. And I guess an ultra marathon is probably just a progression of a trail run. You know, that's sort of like where you end up. I probably just pushed the envelope a bit quickly initially.
With trail running, one of the other boys brought up, he was listening to your podcast and he was like, I thought the same thing. I thought trails was just open gravel, lovely roads.
Oh, that's a trail, yeah. There's a couple. I've got a photo I'll show of like one of the hills we climbed. I'll see if I can pull it up. It is just like you look at it and go, what are you doing?
Pull it up, Jamie.
Where is it?
No, we need one of those extra dudes, like a cackling jack or something.
You can have a look at that and like you can zoom in and see the people all the way at the top. And that
is that the file trail in Anglesey?
Yeah, that's out the back between Anglesey and Aireys Inlet. And underfoot, like I said, it was like peanut butter.
Oh, mate, going up the hill would have been frustrating, but going down the hill would have been loose.
It wasn't. I actually found going down, I was more comfortable going up than going down because going down, like your feet.
That's what I mean. Like it's going down's loose.
Yeah.
Because you don't have any traction and you've got more pace and you're going to fall on your ass at any point.
Yeah, so you're trying to really slow yourself down. And
yeah.
I think the way my body was going down, it was a lot more heavy on my legs, so it hurt more. As opposed to climbing up where you're just sort of slowly going
your
up.
Your knees going down a hill.
Oh,
the amount of impact, especially as a large dude.
Yeah, it really, really hurt.
Yeah, these little people don't understand.
Us big guys. But no, to answer your question, I'll do it again. I'm not going to say that I'll do it again next year, but will I? Nah, look, I don't know. It is really hard for our family. Like I said to you before, like Ash and I don't have any help with our
Is she
with our
keen
son.
on getting into running?
Ash does run.
Okay.
Not now. She's 30-something weeks pregnant, so not at the moment. And also she's not going to come out and do a 50K with me.
Yeah, but like you could alternate.
I don't
That
know.
way you can both train together with your super mad, what are they, strollers or whatever it is
thing,
that we're going to get you a sponsor for. So
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, send us one of them.
big boy running, if there's a brand out there. Get around us.
There's a market for it.
I don't know that there is.
Okay.
I don't know how many big boys are running.
It'd have to be. But no, like me doing this run, it was really selfish and it was really hard logistically to manage as well. Like obviously for the training, you got to do long runs. And it's hard to say to her, I'm going to go take off for 3.5 hours now.
Yeah.
Enjoy Henry. It's a 2-year-old causing havoc.
Yeah.
And we've got another baby on the way. So I think this year, coming 2025, I'm not sure I'll be able to get up for it. But we'll see what happens, see how family life is managing. But that's where my focus is at the moment. But yeah, I will definitely do it again because it's a really good day and I really enjoyed it.
So that's in that actual
I'll
race
do that.
again.
Yeah. And
there's not other ones that you'd be interested in getting around instead?
yeah, there are. Don't get me wrong, there's heaps of ultra races around. The problem with them though is that they're expensive to do. So registration for these races are upwards of $400. So the Surf Coast Century is really good for me is because it's close.
Yeah.
It's 20 minutes down the road. So it'd be great to go, there's a good one in Bright that they do, but with that comes the $400 registration.
Yep.
And then obviously you're probably going to need 2 nights accommodation where it's all inflated because of the race.
Yeah.
So you're not coming out with much change under $1,000, I wouldn't have thought. So it is an expensive sport.
Especially for something that's not even fun.
You're a prick.
So Monday, you've started Googling stuff again.
Yep.
It's now Thursday. Like, how are you feeling now? Like, have you been for a run since?
I haven't. Haven't been for a run. And not like I could. I probably could have gone for a trot on Tuesday.
Or motion to lotion, someone told me once.
He's an idiot. But like, I guess I don't really have anything to train for at the moment.
Yeah.
But I'm also enjoying just having a break as well. Just spending as much time as I can with family. Because
Yeah.
when you're training for these things, it does take a lot of time away. So no, I haven't. But no, body, I'm fine. I've come out injury free, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't found.
I'd like to think you'd know by now.
Well, I haven't been for a run, so I don't know. But I think.
Well, like stress fractures and stuff, you'd probably know.
Yeah, no, I'm golden.
Oh, you were talking about your toenails are missing.
Oh, I'm going to lose a couple of them for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I think out of the 10, I think I'm probably only going to have 7 left, I reckon, in a week or so.
70%, that's a massive win.
Yeah, I reckon 3 are going to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the only thing that's lingering is my feet are still a little bit sore and just the toenails.
So, like tips for new players, what would you do differently?
Firstly, I'd say just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Sign up. Even if you've only run a certain amount before, just do it.
Yes. Fitzy would suggest do some running beforehand, but
certainly train.
Nick says just do it.
No, I'll certainly train for it.
I'm all for it, mate. Just do it.
The hardest thing I personally think is the nutrition. It's really, really hard because obviously you want to practice it leading up to the run. But like I just sort of said, it's hard to practice it when to practice it properly, you need to go out for a 4-hour run, which I couldn't do every week because of our family situation. So you need to be experimenting with how many carbs your body can take in while you're moving. And there's all these guidelines and stuff, but there's no one solution. So that's probably the hardest thing I think to nail. And I think I did pretty well on Saturday and probably post 50 Ks, the eating really dropped off. Just because, like I said, it was all sweet and gooey and I was over it. But even at the 85K aid station, I managed to have, I think, a packet of shapes and a bit of fruitcake or something. So I was still getting stuff in. That's the hardest thing, is getting your nutrition and figuring out what works for your body. So you can have these huge gut issues if you're doing too much carbs and if you're doing not enough, your brain turns to mush. So.
And post, you'd have... what takeaways did you have afterwards? You're saying not having clothes and stuff to jump into.
Yeah, so at the end of the race, it was obviously I got cold really quickly because I stopped moving. And
it was cold.
And it was and 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So definitely take a spare pair of warm clothes to get changed into. I'd do that differently for sure.
Yeah, and an alert on your phone for water or? Yeah,
I think so. Although you'd be getting an alert a lot. Maybe just consciously remembering to just nibble, sip, just keep.
Did you have a Camelback or is it something you have to actually pull out and drink?
No, they're sort of like 2 flasks that slide into pockets of your pack, and you just you can just bite and suck.
Okay, yeah, like Camelback sort of.
Yeah, that sort of
things.
nozzle, but just 2 flasks.
Yeah, because that was the thing we used. Our Camelbacks used to come around and just be sitting there, so you just do it anyway.
Yeah.
Just because you were doing it. But I was just if it's out of sight, out of mind, you just sort of forget. It's like when you have a water bottle at home. If you have a water bottle sitting on it, you'll just sip.
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't have a water bottle, you're just why have I got a headache? Haven't drunk for 7 hours.
That's so dry.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say to the people out there? Or your future self when you're thinking about signing up for something else?
One thing I did want to say is during the day, I think I finished the run and had 30 or 32 text messages just from people just wishing me well, support, who are obviously following along on the tracker and, being oh mate, whatever, 70 Ks in, you're killing it, you're doing so great.
We had a little newsletter, but there's only 30 people that read it. But we put the little tracker thing on there. So
yeah,
that was
but yeah, I got
cool.
Like I said, I think it was 30 or 32 text messages during the day that I had to catch up with the next day. And that just meant so much that people offered their support and were thinking of me during the day when I was just on the struggle bus for most of the day. It meant so much. Ash and Henry at that aid station, like I said, that was just, it turned me to mush.
Yeah.
I couldn't control myself. Deb and Rach at 60 Ks, that was also a bit of a boost. But also the people from doing the last podcast with you, mate, the people who I haven't spoken to for so long, who reached out and were oh, mate, I listened to this. It was really good. Good on you. I've even been called inspiring a couple of times. It's I'm not.
That's rich.
Yeah. And that's.
Let's not talk it up too much.
No, I'm just a guy who enjoys running and I wanted to challenge myself.
The thing that's funny is though, so the people that I have on here are doing some pretty cool stuff, but none of them, and this is where the imposter part comes into it, none of them are arrogant about it. A lot of them are just humble. I mean, sometimes we play it up like we are, but Most of the people are real humble and whatever else it is. So it's really weird because you have people on and I'm like, how are you feeling about the podcast coming out? And they're super nervous and awkward about it because they're literally like, oh God. I mean, I guess they're under the impression that 10,000 people are going to listen to it, but they ain't. But it's just funny though, because I found it as well when we started, like then mates start sharing it to other mates that you haven't spoken to for a while, and then other random people do just start contacting you going, hey man, I heard about this and that. The other thing that I find weird though is because I've done them, when people speak to me, they act like we've been talking for ages. It's like, Matt, I haven't heard from you in 6 months.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh yeah, but they know everything that's, we've obviously talked about and that sort of stuff. So that's been really interesting where they, there's that sort of thing. Whereas if you're on here more often, then there'll be people would just be like, oh, I don't need to talk to Nick because I've already caught up with him.
I know that guy.
Yeah. But it's funny that it does people come out of the woodwork and just say g'day, which that's been a real big positive about this whole thing. So and it's funny when I get feedback like, oh, I love that interview you did with such and such, but like these people don't know you. So as far as they're concerned, now you're a dude who's run 100K, and like that's something that a lot of people would never bother trying to do or do whatever. So when people say it's inspiring, it's funny when it's closer to home. It can go either way. Some people get offended and they're like, oh, well, you think you're better than us? And then like that's where the tall poppy syndrome comes in. But other ones are like, he's just a dude like us and he's done it. And it's like, maybe I can do it. Yeah. So people go, it's like an insecurity thing, I think. People see it and then they're like, oh, I really like Nick. He's a great bloke and this and that. And he's like, if he can do it, I reckon I can do it. And then other people look at going, oh, why does he think he's...
And it's the first, like if you look at me, if I can do it, you can absolutely do it. And
well, this is why I wanted to have you say like your height, weight, et cetera, because you're a larger dude. And there's like I'm 42, 102 kilos, you would not pick me as a person doing 100K, which is fair because I'm not. But you're also tall and 97 kilo, so you're not far off. So when like you doing it, like Fitzy doing it, I'm like, whatever, Fitzy does it. Yeah. But you doing it to me is more of a like, well, I'm actually closer to Nick. Maybe I could do it, and that's where it's been a thing that's interesting where you're like, well, if just a punter that I know can do it, maybe it is something I can do. So that's where the inspiring thing comes into it, I think.
I am just some punter who did it because I was looking at my phone like I'm not good at it. Yeah. Because I came 354th out of 393.
Oh, you smashed some people.
Yeah, some.
How many of them were DNFs?
The people who feel like, so I'm not good at it. I'm really bad at it, and I'm only learning about this whole thing. And like we spoke about at the very start, the bloke who won it was probably in his mid-40s, so I've got time to improve. But at the moment, I'm just some bloke who plods around the surf coast for a long time.
But but the thing is, like you did the first one, and you got to 50K and tapped out. You've done another one, and you've done the whole 100K. And that's what we're saying with Fitzy. It's like he's done a bunch of them now. He did the UMTB in Switzerland and stuff like that. It's like that's a thing because once you've qualified to do that stuff, now it's like, well, that's something you do. Like once you've done another one, like you've done a 50K one now, you've done a 100K one now. You sign up to another 100K one by a certain time. Now you're like, well, this is actually what I do now. And each time you'll obviously get better at it. And then at some point you might be Fitzy. And then you'll have some new bloke coming like, oh, come on, mate, you'll be right.
Yeah. And I think what you say, I think this is just what I will do now. Like I will have a break while family life sorts itself out. But I think I've probably found my hobby. I found what I enjoy doing, as stupid as it may be.
Yeah, look, it's not wide. There was other things you could expect.
Yeah.
Some things take 40 minutes, mate, and they're not.
I don't think I need to be just...
And you can just go and have dinner afterwards. It's not a big deal.
Stomping around for 17 hours.
Yeah, keep your toenails and stuff. Like I'm not... at no point am I advocating trail running. But Nick and Fitzy love it. So
yeah, and I think I found my little niche of something that I enjoy, and I don't think I've had a proper hobby before that I can think of. Albeit silly, I really enjoy it. It's good for my mental health. Like I said, I'll probably have a break. But
you said like obviously the sense of achievement when you were crossing that line was a big thing. And like that was something I was happy to be there for it. So it's like if you do have a mate that's going to go do it, like get around them. It's so much easier to just turn up and say good job than it is to actually do the race, and you still get to hang out and be part of the celebration at the end.
100%.
Spectate the shit out of that. It's so much better.
Like I said, in the last podcast and this podcast, like seeing friendly faces along the way, like although it didn't show when I saw you, like it was great.
It's all right. Fitzy said it was nice.
Yeah, it was good. Like, there's someone here who is here to they're here for us, And same when I saw Deb and Rach, my best mates' family, they'd come to see and support, and it really does. I don't know what it does to your brain. I'm sure someone smarter than me knows, but it really does give you a boost. And if you have the opportunity to go and support someone do something like that, I couldn't recommend it enough because it meant the world to me.
That's probably a good finish.